Yeah, Blump went a little crazy with Fallout mods. Though, to be fair, modding Fallout sucks a giant bag of dicks. With RimWorld, it's easy. You just download it and extract it into a folder and you're done.
Okay. So it's like Left 4 Dead modding.
Yeah. And I'd even say that the vast majority of RimWorld mods are compatible with one another.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, I don't even think we missed that much.
Yeah. Yeah, also, yes, Tamiz. Tamiz is here. You've got both, of course, your prosthetic nose, and you've got an eye patch, which had to be installed through medicine and surgery.
Let's make sure he still has them. Yes, he does. Got an efficiency of 80% off of his nose.
Well, RJG, we had this conversation very recently. Rev, make sure the ants mod is turned off. I didn't realize we were playing Blacklist.
Well, it feels like somebody just shocked me back into consciousness, so...
Ward has failed to recruit Gorilla. No!
It'll happen. Apparently Norell's a semi-decent doctor, too. 10 out of 20 points.
Not bad. Yes, Realtor. Splinter Cell mod list. Tamiz, my understanding is that if you go berserk, Mortis can always take care of your peg leg problem for you.
And Reindeer went crazy again.
Oh, well. I love how Reindeer's just like slowly creeping up on that Basulo.
Yeah, and knocked his ass out, too. What is wrong with Moitis?
Perhaps that's due to the fact that the mods were loaded in an incorrect order?
Yeah, that's probably it.
I mean, I've never seen her like glow with power like she's about to launch like a Dragon Ball Z attack. Okay, it's gone.
Yeah, that was weird. That was definitely from the mods being loaded wrong, I think.
Mortis is like, well, Reindeer, we tried. You were a useless slave.
Riley needs a weapon.
Oh, welcome to the team, Riley.
Yeah. I need to get some names done.
Oh, didn't even notice that Riley was female as well.
Yeah, and almost a senior citizen.
These fucking senior citizen transcendents were attacking you, Norel and Riley. Congratulations, Jorah's Sharpness. You are the feudal politician now who escaped from the pirates.
Kind of lucky. The first person that we ever rescued.
He's
Most
greedy
people.
and abrasive. Wow, he's such a twat too. What an amazing character. has the subjugation crystal equipped. So you said that was one of the best items in the game, but you never explained, like, entirely, like, what it could do.
Well, you witnessed it during the last fight when those guys attacked. So it was the weapon that looked like the blue, almost like a sonic boom, like a closing parentheses shape, like a crescent moon shape almost, but it's blue. And it shoots out a lot of them, and whatever it hits, it stuns. So, like, the biggest part of the group...
The stunning things, okay.
Yeah. And that was done with just one subjugation crystal.
Okay.
It's incredibly important to have when you have guys with rocket launchers. Well, there you get the deep space miner lady with the, subjugation.
Alright. Catman was once a medieval lord. Good job, Catman.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few backstories that are, like, medieval themed, which is kind of weird. Like, there's even medieval farm oafs, which are amazing farmers, obviously.
Doesn't drink, too smart, and a careful shooter, and she's equipped with a cold charge sniper of forests?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the double enchanted weapon that we got, or the double infused weapon we got.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has bonuses from being from cold and bonuses from forest.
Alright. Oh, plus 5% plant work speed. Awesome.
At least I think that was the one.
Well, I mean, there's so many good things out there at this point.
Well, some semi-decent ones.
Seems like you're going to need a few more bedroom areas for all these potential new slave scum, as you called them.
Yeah, definitely.
Just put the beds out by the graves.
Something like that. To be honest, though, they actually use graves as joy workshops, I guess, or joy stations. They get enjoyment from visiting graves.
Oh, okay.
Let me, let me just put it that way.
Alright. Okay, that was a better explanation, I feel. So what I got from that, I don't think was what you intended.
I didn't even think about that. I thought it was just because it sounded dumb. No? I need more heaters. Catman just sleeps in an ocean of steel ore.
I mean, why wouldn't you feel comfortable and cozy there if you can't have a heater in your room? Just sleep in steel ore.
Yeah, they do need heaters, don't they? And they're still wearing trash clothing.
I was wondering if you were ever gonna hook those people up.
Well, I mean, in here, it's at least negative 30 in here, and you can handle that.
You're fucking dead.
Oh, let's see what else there is. There's some enchanted socks. Go grab the enchanted socks.
I hope their socks have warmed my fucking feet +2.
Oh yeah, there's some shoddy armor up here. Yeah, go grab that stuff, Catman. He's already wearing power armor. Power armor.
Like fucking powder gangers show up and attack.
Yeah. There's some better stuff up there. Pretty sure the regular transcendent armor, the black stuff, is the best armor in the game, or one of the best armors. Makes them slower a little bit, but defense bonuses are quite high.
Do the mechanoids wear armor, or is it just like armor plating and shit on them?
The mechanoids don't wear armor. They're fucking like made of armor. They're naked, so like when you attack them, you're just straight up doing damage to their body parts. But they've got really high base resistances.
Can you harvest them for anything?
Yes, there's a workshop I can research later on where I can basically where it has a job for disassembling them, and you get like plasteel, like one of the higher tiered materials in the game, and I think you can get microchips from them, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, RJG, it's so much colder outside. That's just the temperature in the main room with all the meat.
Oh yeah, Catman's gonna freeze with this armor. It's a waste of sending him up there.
Catman's like, why the fuck did I feel compelled to get that?
Well, he's got minor hypothermia, so let's go warm him up before we send him back out.
Fucking rail line being used to transport emergency equipment at this time? Jesus, you'd think this is an emergency zone here.
That's fucked up, man. Like, how is it there now? I mean, are people able to start moving back into your town, or what?
There are parts of the city that are still flooded. There are bridges that'll they're going to have to be repaired because they've been thoroughly destroyed. I've actually stuck to the advisory, and I've tried to stay in. Pretty much stayed around the house as much as I could. But I posted those images, which you quipped about location. That's just a few minutes behind my house, effectively on like the other side of an area. And there are houses around here in the city that are still completely flooded. Schools were closed here for the entire week, in part due to flooding, and also in part because they're being used as displacement shelters for people who've had their entire homes flooded.
Yeah, it's gotta fucking suck. I mean...
there are areas around the state that got it worse than got it here. It just so happened that this particular house, the worst thing that we've had to deal with here in this house is we've been either boiling water or using bottled water for the stuff we've been cooking, because the sewage lines are so fucked up right now. It turns out whenever 20 inches of water falls from the heavens and the sewage lines are pretty much like filled to straining, and as a result some water lines burst, it could be hazardous to drink from the tap.
Might even taste a little funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not dead and I've taken a few showers since then, so I think I'm turned out alright, but I haven't been trying to consume it. Yes, there are areas in the state that got it far, far worse.
Yeah, I haven't been hearing a whole lot more about it since it happened, really.
It's been a frequent topic, of course, as well as on the news. And it's actually been a situation where I've paid more attention to the news, if only to have a sense of what's happening locally. So many bridges destroyed. I learned that the force of water can scour the pavement and rip it apart. I never knew that until it rained that hard. That was a little terrifying. My father's medical appointments in Charleston have pretty much been canceled for the near future because it is impossible to get to the medical university where he goes for treatment for his terminal illness because can't fucking get there. Shit's too fucked up. It is impossible to travel to there. Gonna take months to rebuild some bridges that have been destroyed from water pipes bursting beneath them, or from the force of water in a creek or stream just crushing it. And of course, for all the homes and livelihoods that were destroyed, flood insurance is not really a thing around here. They just don't offer it. And for the places that do offer it, people are like, well, the hurricane insurance will cover stuff. I mean, we gotta worry more about wind damage than water damage.
Yeah, and of course, pretty much everything's been nothing but water damage. Everything's just well washed out.
Because the hurricane did not hit here. This has all just been rain. And so people have had their homes, livelihoods, entire futures destroyed. And if this house had been located in a different area, I would have lost my stuff too. But I'm able to sit here in my relatively privileged and lucky comfort, joining you for a Friday night / Saturday morning, while just a few neighborhoods down, people have their homes flooded. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Lots of course, state and national emergency systems have come through. It's certainly deserving of the title of national state of emergency.
National state of emergency?
Yes, national state. Well, I mean, it did affect more than one state, although South Carolina did get hit the worst.
Yeah, the hurricane overall.
Well, the hurricane didn't hit the United States. That went through the Bahamas and then kicked off towards Bermuda, and I think it's somewhere in the Atlantic, heading for England.
Well, wherever that fucking jerk's hanging out at.
It was more along the lines, due to, the unique, weather events of, the front from Canada pushing in against, the hurricane stuff, created, the historic rain that just stayed and stayed and stayed.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't remember ever fucking looking at the weather map for my area and seeing rain come from the East Coast towards the West Coast and up towards Canada. It never fucking goes northwest, let alone west.
But yeah, the coastline, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, places like that, they got crushed pretty bad too. It's definitely the coastline that got it the worst here. I mean, 20 inches we got, and that's not counting the rain that fell before the weekend. But there's places close to the coastline that saw well over 2 feet. Not to mention, all the intense wind that came in, and the massive, tidal waves crashing against the coastline. So much coastal erosion. Charleston, which is the old city of Charlestown, which is a prominent city here in South Carolina, that's where the medical university is, and my father goes, is completely screwed. So screwed. Columbia, the capital, which is in a more hilly area than I'm at, is also thoroughly screwed, more so than what my city is. People are talking about, well, I mean, you live in a relatively low area. Even the Appalachian Mountain area, upstate of my area where the Appalachian Mountains hit, that also still had flash floods where people died. It just so happened that my house, as well as the neighboring houses in some locations, happened to be fortuitously located for flooding circumstances. So there's your weather update.
When was it that the East Coast was hit by the last hurricane, I guess? Wasn't there a really bad one 4 or 5 years ago or something like that? I'm such an idiot, I forgot to press my TeamSpeak button. I said, so wasn't there a really bad a hurricane 4 or 5 years ago on the East Coast? I forget the name of it.
Maybe Ivan or something. I can't remember the hurricane dates and names that well because nothing's really hit South Carolina.
Katrina, that's it.
Katrina, that fucked up the Gulf Coast. Like, that fucked up Nolens. And that was more than a few years ago.
Yeah, that's way down south. That's not it. What the hell am I thinking? What the fuck's wrong with me? I was even thinking of Katrina earlier.
Like no, Ivan was before Katrina, so that's not even what you're thinking of either. Like noted.
Sandy? Sandy sounds like it could be it. I know Mouse would know because he didn't have internet for like 2 fucking weeks. So did Steve.
Sandy would be it because that hit in 2012. That could be it, or it could be Irene, which hit in 2011.
Hey, Sam.
It didn't do much to South Carolina. South Carolina hasn't been hit super bad by a hurricane since Hurricane Hugo, which hit shortly after I was born.
Yeah, you guys are probably too far south to really get any of that, then.
Well, we're not too far south to get hurricanes. We just haven't. Like, Florida and Georgia have gotten fucked up by hurricanes a lot. Like, of course, the Louisiana area has been hit by hurricanes plenty of times. Just so happens that hurricanes that have struck the eastern seaboard have gone further north.
I'm fortunate enough where there's not many, like, natural disaster type things that happen
you have, like,
around.
Tornadoes that could hit.
No, I don't. Not where I live.
Oh.
No tornadoes, no hurricanes, no earthquakes, nothing like, no floods, obviously. None of that shit happens around here.
You just live in a boring spot.
Pretty much. So, I'm okay with this.
Why don't you get out of your breadbasket already? Christ.
Yeah. This is like a bread and corn basket where I'm at, though. Fucking corn. Corn as far as you can see.
Sure, I have family in Indiana. I just assume because I spend so much time with family in Ohio, and they have, like, tornado problems, like, in the western section of it, that I figured that might have, like, carried over to Indiana, too.
Not in my area. I actually live just like a few... I don't know. It's probably like 10 or 15 minutes from the highest point in Indiana. I mean, which isn't much, but that does, I mean, it is a lot different around here. Plus, the town I live in is basically on top of a gigantic fucking gorge. Oh, so you mentioned something about Twitter earlier. I forgot to ask you this so far. So what, you didn't like the... You didn't like the whole Mike Tyson Grimace thing?
I didn't understand them. Like, I was like on the call with Lethal too, and like I asked him, and both of us didn't get it. I'm like asking him, like, okay, so Grimace, like, I get that part. Like, I've been called Grimace plenty of times, and I'm like, Mike Tyson.
No, it hasn't.
Like he's not grinning. Like, I mean, I guess he could be grinning, but even then, I'm confused. Like, I didn't understand the map.
Okay, so Grimace has nothing to do with Grimace except for his name. I mean, you know what the speech impediment Mike Tyson has, right?
He lisps?
Yeah, so how would he say Grimace?
I don't know.
Grimace.
Is that how he would say it?
Yeah, that's how he would say it.
Okay, so it's not really like addition there so much as... I guess it could be.
Well, I mean, if you have Mike Tyson there, and he's like, hey, there's Grimace over there. Wow. That's fucking sad.
your boxing reference was too old for me.
How, if it was wrestling, you would have got it.
Maybe. It depends on, like, the wrestler in question. I know more about wrestling than I do about boxing. Not interested in boxing. Oh, another group of tribes people. That worked out so well for the collective last time.
Yeah, there's a lot more this time.
Oh, Troll of Reason's like, actually, I think he'd say Grimmeth.
Yeah, he would. Troll would say that to fuck with me. No, he wouldn't. He would say Grimmeth.
Because it's not like Troll of Reason has Troll in the name or anything, right?
Not today, Troll. I spent 5 whole minutes of my life working on that.
I appreciate the effort. I was confused. Like, I didn't consider it as a Mike Tyson, like, lisping with Grimace thing because of how it was presented.
I tried.
But hey, I think at least one other person got it because I was being chided for it. It's just, you know, I had positive reinforcement with Lethal on my side. We're both like, well, I don't fucking know. And like, honestly, when you leave like a Twitter reply, Lethal's like, that's not helping.
Well, I thought you weren't being serious and you're just trying to fuck with me.
No, I actually told him I think that's probably what he thinks I'm doing, just trolling him.
Well, that's what I was expecting.
Your Twitter replies consisted of Grimace. Like, what does it even mean? Like, of course Lethal Feline agrees with you. Go back to school and learn to count. I'm like, okay, Mike Tyson,
yeah.
Grimace, good number.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the best response. But I was under the impression you already got it.
I can safely confirm I did not.
So, I think so these guys are sappers apparently, but for some reason they're mining these walls.
Well, I mean, a shortcut for future tribes people.
Sure.
I mean, like, what the fuck is that Busto doing down there? Like, his name is White. Like, what's he up to?
His mood went horrible. He got upset and he went into a dazed mood because he's just pissed off and he's thinking about giving it all up. I guess. I don't fucking know. But he was with them. He must have gotten really pissed off because of the cold weather.
She's like, oh, this is so fucking stupid. Why the fuck am I even out of here? I ain't fucking doing shit.
Right. She.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking lay out here and die now.
I like how you're more observant in games than me, even though I'm the one who's fucking playing them.
Well, you would know that well enough. I don't have to focus on the whole playing aspect. I can focus on the observing aspect.
I missed this guy. He's got some armor.
He's been dead for 17.5 days, so... Good old Ness there from Earthbound. So we've established that while Rev is an expert on pizza, Grimace is not an expert on speech impediments. You know, I'm more of a positive person. I don't like to focus on the flaws of others.
Flaws? Motherfucker's like a championship boxer. I don't think he really needs anybody to defend him, especially when it comes to his speech impediment.
I didn't say he needed defense. I'm not trying to white knight Mike Tyson.
Oh, that's a pretty neat mod error glitch thing, I guess. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Tamiz. Looks like he's twirling a baton around, an electric one.
He's not the only one. Mortis is having the same thing happening.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that one. Whoops.
Now, there's like... Tamiz had like a fucking dialogue box floating around him for a few seconds. It was like a little speech bubble thing. That was weird as shit.
Yeah, and definitely fucked things up a little bit.
This fucking mod order. I'm so glad you decided to try and remove the alien names. This worked out.
It can be fixed. Let's see. 1, 2, 4 survivors. It's hard to see them when they're surrounded by bodies.
Yes. But you just fucking barely, like, I don't even think you fully dug out the rooms for the last people you're trying to recruit, right?
Yeah, we're not done with the furniture yet or anything.
Well, need more slaves.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's recruitment difficulty 95%. That's going to be a problem.
Mongoose, huh? Hmm. No, Catman's not that bad at it. Right?
Yeah.
No, that's not... Like, Catman wasn't even the fucking Vladimir. Catman was one of the, transcendent people you recruited.
Yeah.
Damn it! Fuck you, emergency train. They're probably...
I'm a train! Fuck you!
Probably trying to patch up the rail line stuff that might have gotten flooded and damaged too, because certainly there were places where the rail lines got covered in water as well. Meanwhile, fucking kids here, man. Like, it's a miracle to get like a snow day here, at least once per year. These kids have just gotten like a week of like rain days. Like, I'm trying to imagine what it would have been. I would have been like say 10 years ago. Been like a week of rain days. Fuck yeah!
Yeah, no shit. The whole state can drown. I don't give a shit.
So long as I've got power and my life isn't unduly inconvenienced, which in my situation, you know, if I still lived in this house, it wouldn't be. I'm like, yeah! Fucking, I'll stay home, play computer games, yeah! Rain day!
Yeah, that'd be pretty amazing.
As if Mortis could die. Mortis is the bringer of death.
Something like that. Either that or the bringer of ass beatings. Which is close enough, I guess.
The bringer of I've got your nose to
Yeah. Refugee just popped out.
Well, you ain't gonna be able to take refuge from shit.
Yeah. We don't have any extra beds. I guess we've got one more prison bed if we want to capture him.
Like, rescue him, but he's so far away. Like, you'd have to go all the way out there in the snow. All the way back. Mortis is like, motherfucking goddamn, need another fucking slave. Fucking.
Speaking of which, I forgot to clear the snow out of here.
You know, I had wondered, but since I don't know the game that well, I just assumed, well, it was probably fine.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit slower to get through, but so long as there's no roof on that section, we don't have to worry about more snow falling. And having to continuously clean it out, because that is a thing too in a raid.
Speaking of which, group of pirates from the Criminals.
It's just 4 of them.
What do you call your faction? The Criminals.
We do illegal things. You gotta all break it.
We're gonna kill you, Robot Jesus. Meanwhile, Robot Jesus like, dum-de-dum-dum.
Just hauling more shitlord slaves back to the base.
Don't mind me just stepping over the squick.
The squick?
Yep, the squick.
What's the squick?
Is that a legit question?
Yeah, I'm not fucking with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright. Squick would be a, say, I can only think of it like in the form of like the TV trope thing. When squick can be used as like a verb or like a noun, it's something that causes like a revulsion. Like, say, like for some people, like they think of like incest and they go, "Ugh!" and they need like the brain bleach to like scrub it out of their minds. It's a squick thing for them.
Oh, okay. For sure.
So like all of like the gore, like the blood-soaked snow with like all the various body parts all frozen in disarray, just like scattered around the exterior of your base there. I'm just stepping over all the squick.
Yeah, there's a blood orgy out there.
You see, that's not the thing I want to think about.
You say squick, I say blood orgy. Yep, that's a blood orgy out front. Did remind me of Squanch, though.
I don't know that. You tell me what that means.
The squanching. Well, it's not an actual word, so don't even worry about it.
Website about it. It'll be a word.
Well, there's probably not a website about it, but I'm sure it's used on various websites. It's
right, so what is the squanching?
It's God. That's what squanching is, basically.
What Violent posted in the chat?
It's from a show called Rick and Morty. It's just a verb or a word used for anything. What are the aliens from South Park? If you're familiar with that, where they use like a certain word that describes a lot of different things, like different verbs and nouns and whatever, where they replace it with a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
Marklar, right.
Well, RJG, you won't have to worry about your persona. Your persona can certainly try to kill everyone. I'm not entirely sure who would be required to get through Mortis.
Mortis probably couldn't take out everybody in the colony on now. She would have issues. Especially because of, I think,
those stunning things, the subjugation crystals?
Yeah, and Catman doesn't help with his shooting skill of 10 and melee of 11.
And his social is 17.
Weird-ass noble. RJ just fucking passes out on the spot. No one got no bed inside, so I'll just sleep on this ice sheet in here.
I mean, I could go sleep in one of the warm areas.
Oh, there's prisoners fighting.
Fight, 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 fight.
Cerveza beat down Mongoose.
Mongoose, huh? That's a name with Dark meaning the last mongoose we saw fucking went ballistic and had to be put down.
Yeah. Might happen to him too. I think some of them even have infections. Strap here is naked.
Why not?
So is Camaro, I think, who is missing a leg. Cerveza has a shattered left radius.
So, considering your familiarity with this game, how far along is the base RimWorld from, like, possible completion?
What, you mean like as a full release game?
Something like that. Or is it something like, say, like Dwarf Fortress, where the developer doesn't think that this will ever be done? It'll just be continued to be developed and developed and developed.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be some sort of end goal thing. There is already kind of like an end goal built into the game. So in the vanilla game, it's even one of the top tier research things where you can actually build a ship to go back off planet. There's a guy up here.
Okay. And so even in the base game, you can get to a point where you can effectively, like, win a scenario that you launch yourself onto.
Yeah, essentially being able to build a spaceship and getting off planet is quote-unquote end game, and you can reach that point.
Because, like, according to, like, what, like, the base game, like, description is, like, your people are, like, exiled here, or, like, they're stranded here because of, like, some sort of, like, ship wreckage horrible thing? Yeah, so whenever you start a colony,
it gives you, like, a short little, like, description, default description, like what Dwarf Fortress has when you embark. It's a lot shorter, and, yeah, it's a lot shorter, though, and it just basically says, you and your three, or you three have landed upon this planet, or crash landed upon this planet, or your pods have crash landed, and you've got to survive, yada yada yada. So yeah, you're when you start off, your colonists crash in pods, and that's it. They crash with a small amount of supplies and the clothes they're wearing, and like you, by default, you start off with a rifle and a pistol, and it's just to see if you can go interstellar again, because it doesn't give you like any specific background of where you came from or why. That leaves that pretty broad. It just leaves you with the fact that you crashed here in some escape pods from your ship. Yeah, and the vanilla version, there's no customizing of anybody you spawn with, and it's always like 3 randomized people, I think, for the most part.
Oh, it's the mods themselves that have allowed you to, like, customize, like, what backgrounds they have.
Yeah, so there's a mod called Prepare Carefully, a la Dwarf Fortress, that you use, and with that you can take as many people as you want, what items you want to take with you. You can customize their backstories, what clothing they have, what they look like, everything.
I see.
And another gel fight. In fact, one of them, somebody's been dead in the fields for a day.
So, if memory serves, like, one of the features in this game was, like, this AI storyteller type thing that, like, exists in, like, Left 4 Dead. Like, how does this handle all of the mods?
Just fine, because the mods don't change anything in that aspect. Some of them can, and some of people, like what I'm playing, even has 3 new storytellers, or 3 modded in storytellers. It works well with it, because the formula for the storytellers is laid out. I mean, it's not, I don't think it would be anywhere as, like, advanced as Valve's version. Like, when you roll this one, it takes into account, like, how long your colony's been around, how many waves you've had, and how much, like, wealth you've created. And then it figures up a number of sieges it wants to send, or like random attacks from whatever else, like animals or other negative random events, and throws them at you.
Right, but like the storyteller stuff obviously hasn't been like designed to be balanced with all of the various random events that can occur. Like say like you've had like the alien ant stuff thrown at you, and because you obviously have had that in when you don't think the alien ants thing is remotely even balanced at all. So
Well,
like, the storyteller can't even think it's balanced at all then, but
well, that's because it's inherently broken. Like, when the ants show up, the queen ants will lay eggs, and then from the eggs, ants will spawn as they all come towards your fortress. So the idea is these ants are laying eggs and they're hatching as they're coming to your fortress to attack. But what happens is they lay these fucking eggs, and the eggs just infinitely spawn more and more ants. So, like, within a half hour since they arrived, you've got half of your entire map just flooded with ants.
Right, I remember seeing that situation play out whenever the ants just fucking like consume things and you spend like teams of people out there. Why won't you die?
But otherwise it's up to the mod maker to balance everything.
Mod makers are always great at doing.
Yeah, some of them can be considered unbalanced. Some of them actually, well, I would say a majority of them added to what I'm playing makes the game more difficult. I even scaled some back off.
So would you say the base game in comparison is significantly easier than what you're playing? Well, obviously this particular scenario, but...
Oh yes, very much yes so. Even on a normal one, because in the base game, you have access to, I don't know, the largest chunk of, like, buildings and everything are just openly available. In this, the vast majority of stuff you have to research before you can even build it, which takes a lot of time and effort and whatnot, especially when you start off and the most you can really build is like a basic crafting table and a fire pit. Like, you can't even build like anything to get electricity with or anything like that, or even farm. Yeah, you have to research farming before you can do any of it. I don't know if I'd call it evil, but I'd call it door fortresses.
So, no one has taken the initiative to mod in, like, child rearing? Like, you said that that was a feature at least that you wanted in the game, and the main creators haven't gotten around to, like, instituting it yet.
Yeah, well, I think there's something limiting mod makers to be able to do something like that. I don't know. I'm sure... Because I'm sure if that mod had been released for it by now, I would have heard of it. Unless I'm that bad. Because I do try to keep up with the mod forums and everything in case anything fantastic comes out. Well, it's sub-zero temperature, so I don't think there's any blood in the traditional sense. Everything's pretty frozen. Well, I guess there are people bleeding on all of our crops.
That's just giving them a blessing. So are all these cybernetics and like this mechanoid race stuff and like these droids that are like sent at you and like some of these raider groups, are those all modded in?
No. They're pretty much all base game stuff. Some of the factions, like the medieval guys, I think are modded in, but the mechanoids, no, they're in the base game. The transcendent guys, the guys with the crazy ass armor, they're modded in, but the mechanoids definitely aren't.
Okay.
That's one of the good Dwarf Fortress clones, fortunately.
Well, I suppose a good business decision from the creators of RimWorld to design a game that is not too difficult to modify.
Yeah, there are quite a few mods. And yeah, it's not even just like modifying it, but
stability.
Yeah. And installing the mods that like everything's like we were talking about Fallout earlier, and it's like, man, that trying to mod that game is such a pain in the ass. I have to start growing my own trees now, because I've used all my lumber up.
I thought you mentioned that you could possibly buy lumber from like traders if I suppose they brought it.
Yeah, it's hit or miss with that. I'm in a situation now where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't hold onto enough lumber to make enough beds, and I'm expanding faster than what I thought I was going to, so...
See, that's terrible that you can't make beds out of anything other than lumber.
There might, unless...
It is the year fucking 5501 and we can't make a bed out of something else?
There's a third style of bed. Like, I can use cloth to make beds. But I don't have any cloth. I don't have any cotton. I could grow some. But my, this is all the room that I have to grow on at the moment. Everything else is stone and ice. It's a decent chunk of land up here I can grow on, but I'll have to enclose it and heat it up before I can even start planting the seeds.
Well, I mean, you could solve this problem the same way you solved the medicine problem.
No. Medicine... I did the medicine thing because there is no other choice. It was either stop...
Will the people sleep on the floor?
They will fucking sleep on the floor.
Why? Why would you do that to them? You could change this.
Because they're slave scum. It doesn't matter as long as Moitas doesn't die or go insane.
Right, well, at this point you mentioned that Mortis would not survive her insanity.
Probably not, but I mean, she's got a bed, so it doesn't matter. Everybody else can fuck off. So if the other slaves don't have beds, I mean, it sucks to be them, but it's just how it's gotta go sometime. I think I just had a stroke. I think I missed a few letters in that last sentence.
The leaf says, yes, you can. Go onto the bed and hold the click. You'll see multiple material options.
Yeah, I just looked at that. I don't have...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can make it out of cloth, wood, or wood and leather. I don't have any wood, so I can't make anything.
This is the worst.
No, it's not actually that bad at all. It's just if there's an if any of the slaves get upset, well, they'll just have to get beat down.
This is the worst.
No, it's not bad. We've had to beat them up and slice their noses off before.
JDL quips in vanilla you can, but he has a mod to make it harder.
Yeah. I haven't really found... Have you ever played, Factorio? Or do you know what it is, at least?
Yeah, I know what Factorio is. I do not have, like, an interest in playing the game, but I've seen it.
Yeah, same here. It looks... okay, there's actually a mod installed that includes, like, lots of shit from... Not from it, but... There's a conveyor belt like mod system built into this where you can explore all those options, and I never got around to it. I've never wanted to kill myself, so I never bothered trying that mod. I guess I'll put it that way.
So for like, although you're interested in like say resource and people management, you are not interested in assembly line management.
No. That's why we have slaves. I mean. Why the fuck would I have robots do the jobs that slaves can?
Like, slaves can handle the whole AI of things, but in Factorio, you have to set up every fucking little fucking piece of conveyor and the various machinery yourself.
Yeah, see, no. I don't do that. I tell my slaves, you go pick this shit up here and you take it over there. And that's your job, that's what you do. You step out of line, your legs get broke.
Right. Well, I've certainly like seen some setups and some people like spend some hours in Factorio. I've never gotten that far into anyone's playlist of the game. Like, yeah, it's neat, but you know, I'm totally get the impression, yeah, I could spend dozens and dozens of hours fucking microing every single part of this fucking factory to do all these things that I need to do, and once I spend all the time invested in doing this, then I won't have to look at it again until I need to make it bigger. Until I need to, like, move the mines that fucking, like, harvest the resources, then I'll go kill myself.
Just listening to you talk about the game makes me want to kill myself.
I mean, really, it's like playing that Mad Games Tycoon game, and you set up all the rooms, and you fucking, like, put in all the lovely features, and then you find yourself within a short amount of time making enough money that you buy a bigger fucking office, and you do it all over again.
Yeah, speaking of which, if I even do go back to playing that, I've got enough money to move into the biggest place, and...
Your room sizes will be extraordinary.
Well, I mean, the sad thing is, though, is that the game's performance is so bad at this point, I'm not even interested in going back and playing it again.
Right, it just, all of the fucking, like, you'd have to, like, stay super zoomed in on the screen, or, like, I suppose you could probably turn off, like, the display information, like, the display, like, linkage, and, like, maybe, like, the pop-ups that the game does.
Yeah, that might help. I guess I could play around with it a little.
But, I mean, even then, like, then you, like, okay, sure, you stay super zoomed in on the screen. I mean, your alternative would be to just, like, you know, limit yourself and keep yourself small, which, I mean, then again, there's no fucking, like, goal other than push yourself to be the biggest and best, and since you just keep releasing games that are that high in goal, you could branch out to different genres and challenge yourself. Like,
Well,
try and learn different genres.
yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted the second development team to make patches and explore new genres and everything, while the main development team just made sure that we constantly make money, of course.
But you have like enough money stockpile, you don't even have to like worry about that, right?
No, you don't say you have enough money.
But you do.
Probably. It's like,
what the gigantic office building costs, like what, like 57 million or something?
yeah.
That's a bit.
I think I got twice that much.
So you can explore all the crazy genres instead of like just constantly doing, I'm a Korean arcade gamer. Arcade.
Hey, you forgot. Oh, look, I could add a subgenre.
That's arcade and jump and run. Arcade and like skill game. Arcade and like whatever else.
Bunch of dumb shit.
Arcade. Soup kitchen, arcade.
Fucking soup kitchens, man.
Shotgun nugger, arcade. I'm doing the interactive movie playthrough. I'm bringing that genre back.
Which is so weird because it's like the last genre you discover.
Have to have technology advance far enough in order for you to actually be able to do an interactive movie.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's stuff like Wing Commander out there, so that's considered an interactive movie, I think.
I don't see how. I mean, it has cutscenes, but I don't consider it to be an interactive movie.
What about, fuck, what's that arcade game that was really popular back in the day? But it was a cartoon.
Are you talking about Dragon's Lair?
Yeah, Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair, the arcade.
Would be like a laser disc, and you know, I've actually considered frequently, as recently as like last week, like delving into recording laserdisc games, which all have that interactive movie quality. I'm just trying to determine like which one I want to start with, because there's a number of them. I have like a website that like goes in the description about them. I'm trying to find the most interesting one. Lovers Don't Wear Ties was not an interactive movie. It was an interactive PowerPoint presentation.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that game too. What the fuck? Well, congratulations. Wasn't that part of rewarding the rewarders or whatever?
Nope.
No, you just did that on your own whim?
It was, I believe that my friend, who has also suggested horrible other games to me, either because I like lose bets to him, or he just think it'd be a great idea for me to record something. I'm pretty sure that's the first one he ended up pushing onto me for the channel. There was that. There was Aversion, which I could have done without. And then there was which was the weakest one of the three. Which was like this little fucking first-person like horror art game type thing, where you're like trapped in like your house or something with like your wife who has no head and no heart, and you have to give her one or the other.
What the fuck?
yeah, by like solving like key puzzles and shit. It's not that very long of a game. I think I did like 20 minutes. But if you give her her heart, she'll like read the like one of the walls, and she'll realize that both of you can't survive, and someone has to die, and so she'll kill herself. And my understanding is that if she gets her head back, which I didn't give her, she'll kill you so that she can leave. So, like, she killed herself in front of me. I'm like, oh, okay. Then just like walked out. It didn't do anything to me, and it was a pretty bad pick. Now, Aversion, that was a more horrifying. That was a...
I know a version. I've played it.
Yeah, that was definitely more horrifying.
It's an interesting little game.
Yeah, like a 2D horror platformer.
Yeah, you don't see those two very often. 2D platform. What?
It does a great job of sliding the horror in there slowly too. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why is everything like? Oh shit.
Yeah, if you don't know what to expect, it's a really great experience. Yeah, the Witch game I'd never heard of, though, before. Version everything else, yeah.
Yeah, it's spelled like the fucking preposition. W-H-I-C-H.
There's a game I streamed quite a while back, and I think it was 1916. It was the name of it's just like one of the years of the First World War. And a really short game, but I don't even remember. I don't remember if you're... I think you're like a German soldier and you're trying to get out of the trenches. And there's a bunch of like various things you got to get around, like certain trenches filled up with like deadly mustard gas and whatnot. But you do run into some other guys, but they're all dead. That the main threat is armored velociraptors hunting you down. Yes, Artis, it's the Velociraptor one.
Armored velociraptors in World War One. You see, I'm used to like the Nazi dinosaur angle. I'm not used to the dinosaur angle in World War One.
Yeah, so it's that's why it was such a wild and awesome game. I mean, it's a World War One based game, but you're fighting, or not even for the most part fighting. You're trying to survive the fucking like a pack of raptors sent into the trenches to kill you. Pretty sure it was 1916. I uploaded it to my channel too. I happened to just throw it up on the stream randomly and play it and fucking beat it, and somebody went insane. RJ.
Well, RJ, you would hope that this wouldn't happen. Turns out that sleeping on the floor has upset you greatly, which means that you have attracted the attention of the glowing orb of Mortis.
The slave needs his ass beat.
Rilder is very upset about this. Colonist needs rescue.
These artifacts are fucking with me. See, I guess she stomped on his toe so hard it fucking just absolutely mashed it. And crushed it. I don't think he'll be bedridden though. He should be able to survive it.
Yeah, since you mentioned Dragon's Lair, like those Laserdisc games like that, for whatever reason, I am wanting to get into like playing and recording these fucking interactive movie QuickTime event games, because that's what they are. interactive movie QuickTime event games.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty to choose from.
I know. Like I found like a website with like all of them. I'm like looking through screenshots. I'm like, which would be the best one? Narrowed it down to what the fuck is happening to me? Dude, you're like the. Okay, thank Jesus it stopped. Kind of. He's twirling something else now.
There he goes again. Oh. That's what happens when you get drafted in the military.
No one can defeat my paper foo.
So, do you see any in particular that you are excited to play, or would be excited to play because they all?
Like I noted, there are several that I narrowed it down to that I think would be suitable and would not get my my channel banned, because there's a few naughty ones that I blinked and went, oh my.
Oh yes, there. You could say that for just about anything, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few that I've looked at the screenshots and like, this is gonna be awesome. I just need to set up a effective Laserdisc player. I've not emulated Laserdisc games on my computer before, so I'll just have to properly get one that'll play it the best.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of emulators out there for all that.
I mean, if I did something like, say, Dragon's Lair, that has 97 fucking versions of it, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. But Dragon's Lair like, aggravated more than anything else whenever I was a kid, so I'm not too interested in that one.
I never really ran into it as a kid. I never heard about it until I got way older, and then by that point, it was like interactive movie video games or whatever. Those are garbage. Like, I had been duped like once or twice already by something claiming to be a game, and then it's an interactive movie as well. I wouldn't allow myself to be burned again. And then you had the ones that were the real like weird hybrids, where they were like a point-and-click adventure games, but they were all like stop motion, or not stop motion. What the fuck am I talking
about? Full
about?
motion video.
Full motion, not stop motion.
Sure, there's plenty of adventure games that use like full motion video stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like the Cinemaware style games that, of course, Cinemaware like to treat games as like a movie, like sort of experience. Like you had King of Chicago. And you have, of course, It Came from the Desert, which is, of course, the fucking ant game, which I'm sure you at least know of.
The name's familiar, but I can't call it off the top of my head.
It Came from the Desert is this cheesy, like, 80s horror. Excuse me. It's a cheesy game that's based in this old, like, horror style. Where the game is like set in like I think like the 50s or 60s, and I think in the first game you're like some sort of like scientist who's like or maybe like you live in like this town where some radioactive material or whatever has gone out, and basically like giant ants are coming out of the fucking desert to like take over the entire town. And the game constantly runs, time constantly passes. You can't really pause the game and take an action or a breath. And you have to figure all this shit out. You have to stop these fucking giant ants. You have to destroy the ant queen. The ants themselves can look pretty menacing, at least on the Amiga version. I can post an image of one of those sons of bitches in the chat for the kids.
Yeah, it'd probably help me out.
This is probably one from, I actually want to get one of the GIFs. fuck, I'm tired of looking for a GIF. Find anything that's been animated that well that would show one of the giant ants.
Yeah.
There's some of the creepy transitions from the second game. I think that one's actually from the second game.
Yeah, I definitely recognize the artwork.
Yes, the story involved being in a town, and it came from the desert too. It's the same town. I think you're a different character though. I don't really know that one too well. You know what? Jeff recorded the first one on his channel. He lost because, of course, he did. The game's not exactly that easy.
I totally missed that one.
Especially because, at least as far as I'm aware, and I hadn't spent much time playing it myself, you can't fucking pause the game and take action. In order for you to act, time constantly passes. You're staring at a map, where do I go next? What sort of threat should I take care of next? Try and find the ant nest to kill the queen ant, or save the town, and time just keeps flying by. Fuck.
You're constantly under pressure.
There was also a PC Engine version which had tons of full motion video, and it's bad. I think it pretty much fucking bankrupted CinemaWare, whoever they had make it. It's it's completely different gameplay, but it does have the sort of theme of giant ants. The full motion video acting in that game is particularly worse than, noticeably worse than what the acting in the games tends to be.
Well, those games, those games aren't exactly known for their acting to begin with, but
right,
yeah,
yes.
Then that would have to be pretty bad then.
Yes. But yeah, there's several of those quick time event games that I think would be interesting. I did do some arcade stuff whenever I was a kid, but whenever I was a kid, didn't entirely have the money to spare to get into arcades, and that was also around the time in the 90s when console systems were becoming more of a thing. And although my mom was a gamer, she liked to play video games. At that point, it was more along the lines of, well, fuck it, just stay at home and play video games on the consoles here instead of going to the arcade and throwing in quarter after quarter. My brother caught more of the arcade stuff, but for me, I was a little too late by the time I became, say, effectively a teenager, because that would have been the time I could really enjoy an arcade.
Well, there for a long time, I mean, the arcade was the place to go because you couldn't get the same kind of game in the arcade that you could, or you couldn't get the same kind of game at home that you could in the arcade.
Right.
There's all the, there's just much more advanced. Now, the fucking arcades are dead because nobody needs to go to one anymore.
Right. I mean, there's experiences that I've gotten, say, going to amusement parks, or, hell, whenever I was in middle school, there was a dedicated museum that also had a pretty significant gaming section that had old arcade boxes and stuff, which was really cool. And the experience of being able to sit inside an entire arcade booth and play something like Space, not what was it, Harrier or whatever, I can't even fucking remember the name of the game. I wanted to say Space Harrier, I'm like, nah, that sounds really weird. But stuff like that, the experience and the atmosphere of that is not something that you could readily get at home.
Yeah, there's some games that, I mean, you can't go wrong with the arcade just because you need gigantic fucking peripherals and stuff.
Right, that, the instrumentation they'd give you there with the joystick can handle better than you trying to emulate something off a fucking PlayStation 2 joystick or whatever.
Or there's there used to be this, I don't know why I remember this game, but the Jurassic Park game, shoot 'em up, but you were in a Jeep.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I remember the arcade version of that was almost built it's even hard. It's kind of hard to explain. Like the arcade machine itself was kind of built like a Jeep, but it was fully enclosed, so you'd fucking get in it, and it had like motors and shit in it. I don't know. I'm going on a tangent now.
Hey, it's relevant to the conversation. Just stuff like that. Cool, and just not stuff that I was readily able to enjoy that much. Which is why you know, I have seen games from like the arcadey stuff that have caught my eye to the point where I'd be willing to emulate the games. Like, say for example, like one major shift in like a difference between like the arcade and not arcade experience would be like Double Dragon. Like how like Double Dragon for the arcade is so much different compared to like Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System, which is not something I realized until I think I was in college.
Yeah, they did a lot of that. Did that with a lot of games. Like they'd have like really awesome arcade versions, and then they just make shitty ports. And then there'd be a lot of people who'd get used to playing the ports first, and then run into an arcade and be like, "Oh my god!" I know I did that more than once.
Right. I do recall. I can't remember who was harping about this. About how like Double Dragon in the arcade, of course, had, you know, your cooperative multiplayer stuff, but Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System I don't think did. And so one of the selling points, I think, maybe for like its port on the Sega Genesis or maybe Sega Master System was, hey, we have like multiplayer that you can like play together instead of just having to sit around and watch one person do it at a time.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal back then. Well, if there's one trait that would be good for this place, it would definitely be optimist. See, convinced by a warden times 17 gives him a 91 boost to mood.
Not for only the next few days.
Yeah, so it ain't gonna last forever, but it does help. Maybe we should have him go outside and strip some of these people. He's wearing a fucking loincloth.
You need to go outside and strip people because you're wearing a loincloth. That's a lot of silver. No, most of that's inside. I thought it was like, so like, oh no, that's on the downside too.
Yeah, there's 387. I don't know where the fuck it came from, but we'll take it.
Thanks for bringing us silver, guys.
Still got so much buffalo meat to go through, and once we get through all that, we've got all these people to eat still, too. when the time comes, I will move it outside. I also want like a dining hall and freezer area and everything too. Oh yeah, that's another thing you can build in this. You can build quantum stockpiles. Just stacks of items on top of each other. Yeah, biomatter is really important later on too. Fish, really? I think it takes a stack of 50 of those blue blades to make fillets. Oh boy.
So much meat still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit ago. We still got all these bodies to eat too.
Like, wow, it's amazing how much time has passed in the game. Like, you've had that meat in there for like 2 fucking months at least.
Yeah, we got lucky with those muffalos attacking.
Attacking.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess they didn't really attack too much. They just kind of angrily stomped around outside.
Still have a, yeah, you do still have like a muffalo corpse or two that hasn't been brought in yet as well.
Yep.
The next attack of fools. I missed which type of fools these were.
Transcendence.
Oh. You did mention these trainees have awesome, cool equipment.
They do. And apparently we're wiggling
like
a
how
heavy
the fuck
gates.
did they possibly defeat what you've got, though? Like, Mortis and Tamiz both just...
wiggling with power.
What incredible power. How could you lose? Maximum wiggle. Seriously, get the fuck out of meat. There's like 4 muffalo you haven't butchered yet.
Yeah, we're sitting on 4,700 units of meat.
Jesus, how much is each muffalo worth?
It won't actually show me when after they're dead. I think it's something like 200 or close to it, 180 maybe.
Usually negative 150.
It's not pretty.
Well, I guess the muffalo hasn't been dead for that long. I thought more time had passed. Well, good job, group. Glad you arrived. Welcome to Deb. Cloak deciding to,
Please don't get shot. Don't shoot, Cloak. I like how Dane was waiting for their leader to get gunned down before he moved in.
They knew it was up. Hey guys, oh. Looks like some of your opponents are actually streaming south. Like those drone droid things were like dancing, like not heading towards you.
Yeah, they're acting a little weird. Not sure why. See, yeah, I don't know where the fuck they're going. Maybe...
Are they trying to kill the people who arrived at the
yeah,
center?
probably. That probably confused them a little bit. And now that we have 2 of those subjugation crystals, the effectiveness of our weapons is just quite high now. Because nobody has a chance to really fight back. Unless they just absolutely swarm us.
I mean, you're practically unstoppable at this point. Who could defeat you?
This guy needs... yeah, we need to go out here and grab this guy soon. He's got a bionic spine we can rip out of him.
Well, I mean, you could just, like, if he died, like, the bionic spine would still be in him, right?
You can't amputate or remove body parts from a corpse.
What? Well, he's dead. That means the bionic spine's spoiled.
Pretty much, unfortunately. You gotta get it from them while they're still warm and alive.
That is... like, is that like an oversight, or is that intent?
I'm not sure. I think it's kind of an oversight, or they haven't worked it out yet. Because I think the idea is, well, obviously, if somebody's dead, you can't, like, just start removing body parts from them and put it on somebody else. There has to be really specific conditions to do something like that.
Right, like, okay, sure, like, organs, maybe, but, like the bionic stuff and, like, the mechanical stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Because you would think, like, no matter what, I mean, it's made out of, like, plasteel and like, mother... ships and whatnot. It would last, obviously. You leave me alone. Anyways.
Yes, beyond that.
I can forgive a lot of things that would be wrong with this game. I mean, it is just one guy working on it.
I'm curious about this game. How is it so far? Well, Revicane is playing a highly modified RimWorld. RimWorld, of course, your, like, Firefly meets fucking Dwarf Fortress meets Warhammer 40k sort of Survivor series thing. Well, Revicane is so thoroughly experienced with the game that he has it super modified for this extreme winter challenge where one individual has been installed as Robo-Jesus with a bunch of slave scum, as Rev has called them, and this group is attempting to survive in the frigid wastelands of, like, negative 80 degrees and still further below outside. I mean, it's kind of warmer now because it's April, but it's still... okay, it's down... okay, it's only negative 47 degrees Celsius outside now. Thank Jesus! The game was extremely touch and go at the beginning. Revicane, in fact, had to, like, development hack some stuff in because it was impossible to start, literally.
I don't even know why I have the option of talking when you're here, so go ahead.
I mean, I was just answering a question. I mean, you want to fucking sass mouth me? You fucking take it over.
You dick, I wasn't sassing.
Well, I mean, clearly, I mean, It's your name on the channel. What the hell am I doing here?
Oh, yes. I think there's only enough room for one of us, yeah.
Well, I mean, seeing as how you were talking in such an educated and erudite light.
Get out of that bed.
The Catman says, apparently if you butcher the bodies, you have a chance to get the bionics.
Oh yeah, I never really bothered.
Well, there you go, Catman.
I have butchered many bodies, but I don't ever recall getting bionics from it. Put past the game.
No, RJG, I'm not here to spread anything. I mean, you know, I was trying to be all secretarial and explanatory and immersive for viewers. I got shut down by the ruler here.
But then I gotta get sassy.
That's right. Anyway, so the survival's going pretty well now that Mortis, who is the cyber queen bitch who has and owns everything forever with maximum skill, isn't on Insanity's doorstep.
Yeah, she's doing quite well. It was just that she just got a little upset when she got a touch of the plague.
Now, how much time did you end up spending trying to like wrestle away around like her not killing everyone before you just gave her the medicine?
I only gave it one go because I played this enough to know that without medicine and with untrained medical attention, she would have died. She would have died 100% sure, either from the plague or from going insane.
And since your entire run is predicated on her existence...
Yeah, if she goes, it's all gone. And we are going to remove this guy's spine. Probably shouldn't because it's going to piss people off, but they can get fucked.
Like Mortis cares. I do love how like the button thing is like add a bill, like, oh here you've just ate at Waffle House, here you go. Holy shit, with like 3 pancakes I'm losing my spine? What the fuck happened here?
Yeah, I'll take a stack of flapjacks and advanced bionic eye, please.
Alright, now none of you other prisoners wake up.
Shh, just ignore us.
Love how Mortis is treating all of the gunshots first.
We could take off this guy's jaw. He's got a silent jaw implant. I don't know how that does, really.
It affects his talking. Efficiency 100%. What could it mean?
Yeah, you can't talk. And he's missing a hand. Got his hand blown off.
Can't imagine who did that.
Oh, and apparently you can still live, even though you don't have a spine.
Well, it's not like that's important in the year 5501. We'll be good.
Yeah, he's going to be bedridden for a little while.
Oh, wow, it's in the 22 degrees Celsius in this particular area inside. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice and toasty back here. All these bedrooms are heated up to that, too. Except for these bedrooms up here. They're still cold. Oh yeah, the generators help out quite a bit. In fact, yeah, my industrial heaters are on low power use at the moment.
Your decision to put the prisoners right next to your power supply for the entire base remains well, it remains a decision.
Well, I mean, it was the only place to keep them warm.
There. Like, what the hell is Catman carrying? Is it food?
Yeah. He was probably feeding the prisoner.
Right, I have to remember that, like, food can be, like, carted out in the form of, like, little table things.
Yeah, what you've seen is a prepackaged meal from the food synthesizer.
Oh,
That's where you
Muffalo
just...
not good enough for the prisoners?
Well, it's Muffalo, but it's processed into a green paste.
Oh, so it's not raw buffalo. It's green-based buffalo.
Right, so it'll actually fill you up. They just don't care for the taste that much. It's better than eating raw food, but it's not as good as eating prepared food.
Catman feeding the the spineless prisoner, and that's not like a metaphor or anything. That's literal.
Yeah. Well, somebody's going to have to feed him for quite some time until he either dies or gets another spine. The whole reason why I took his spine out is because I thought one of our guys had a frail spine. I was going to give it to them, but nope. I was mistaken. We took out his spine for no reason.
Not no reason. I thought I could have sworn that.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. It's fucking Catman. I could have sworn just looked at him. Whatever.
Welp.
Catman's getting a new spine.
Da-da-da! Also another raid.
Ooh, beefy.
When you said beefy, I thought you were seeing just like another horde of Muffalo. I'm like, fucking already? Jesus! You'll have enough food for the entire year! At least they're not attacking in such abysmally cold weather. It's only...
Only negative 49.
That used to be how cold it was in the main room.
This spring is remarkably mild.
Yes. Yes, Heathcliff, it's only negative 56.2 degrees Fahrenheit outside. My mohawk will render me impervious to the snow. Well, Catman, you're getting a new spine because your spine is frail, because you're in your 50s. You're a scrub lord noble.
Scrub lord noble slave scum.
Yes. Oh, Rexios Camareo Cervexa. They might eat people. They certainly aren't that intelligent, so... I don't know what they think they've got on it that the past several groups, like, how is this faction even still alive, what with all the suicide attempts they've made on you thus far? Like, how do they function?
Oh, you should have seen my Luton base. I swear I killed thousands upon thousands of these medieval raiders. They were just attacking us in these gigantic waves, but I had like dozens of automated gun systems set up, just fucking chopping them all down before they even got anywhere. They just kept attacking.
Right, but the difference here is that this entire biome is slathered in wintry hell. How are they located even remotely near a place where they could survive enough to have a large tribe to attack you? They've been here a long time!
Yeah. Apparently. I'm pretty sure we might actually be right next to these guys, on the world map, that is.
Okay, so thematically then, they would have built up some sort of like cold resistance, or at least intelligence with dealing with the horrific realizations of the fact that you're in winter hell.
Well, maybe not. We've got a district at the town near us, who we don't really see much of, and then the criminals. We're actually closest to the criminals.
At the very least, they should know that you do not raid during dark season. You wait for fire season.
Well, look how far you gotta go across the fucking ice sheet to get to us. Or, not an ice sheet, I guess that'd be the tundra.
Yes, exactly. Don't fucking raid these motherfuckers. Anytime but like, oh, I don't know. Growing period, never.
Yep, exactly. Huh, the average temperature changed. For our area, I think. I don't know. I could have swore it was negative 80, but yeah, the average temperature in July is negative 26.
Average temperature in July is still in the negative Celsius.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
It's pretty cold out here.
Yeah, so like this whole concept of war, especially in these clothes, not seeing it. How is this tribe alive?
I don't know. I don't know how in the fuck they're supposedly come, like, not just all this far north, but into the mountains.
Right, they've hiked up like over 4,000 meters just to get to you. Maybe they had to lose all of their high-powered equipment and clothing that shielded them from the elements along the way.
Just sold them to the Transcendents.
Yes. Like, we need food. As it turns out, there's no food available up here. The Muffalo have all died. Well, we could sell you some food, but you'll have to give us your warm clothes. Oh, we'll get more warm clothes anyway when we take down Bio-Jesus.
Do you know how many clothes they have stashed out there on the gigantic pile of corpses in front of the place?
Like legends from like the people who've seen like this bit, like traders who like come to visit you and beam down goods. They tell everyone else on the planet about like the legendary fields in front of your colony.
There's a lot of guns and gear and everything out here, yeah.
Catman failed to recruit Cervexa, 1% chance. Like, I think you have more bows outside your base than this army attacking you does.
Oh, here's that same type of gun that Mortis started with. The 6P62 or whatever.
Porthole, eh?
Unfortunately, but Sardis can take it. Him and his officer's cap.
See, they want our blood cattle. So is this American natives versus Jews?
Here we go again.
I know, fucking the Zorth, what is wrong with you? What, just because they get hypothermia planning the raid? With enough global warming, you will laugh at the world, think forward, live in ice hell? Muffalo give you 162 meat if you don't have a mod that changes that.
That's probably what I got then.
What the fuck the meat? What is that?
Yeah, he's doing his blast door dance.
Fucking shit. I'm so glad you went to the main menu and fiddled with your mod order for this. What a great feature.
I am rather proud of myself.
Like, what baffles me is that it's only been Tamiz and Mortis who've been doing this shit. No one else, like, charges their blast door or whatever.
It might have to do with their, prosthetics, but now that I think about it, they're not the only ones with prosthetics.
No, they aren't.
It's the guns, maybe. They both have the same weapons.
Tamiz asks, does anyone else have a shield?
Yeah, but plenty of people have shields. It's not that.
Oh wow, it is so weird to like look out there and see like sunlight, like an actual clear day. Holy shit. It's like clear, balmy, and crisp -36 degrees Celsius outside.
Yeah.
Sun gently beams down, causing horrific whiteout conditions.
And it didn't last long. It's gray again.
Meanwhile, Tamiz and Mortis just twirl their blast doors. Russ says, Rev, someone wearing a shield can't shoot because of the personal shield you equipped.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hunter has shield and ranged weapon. Shield user has ranged weapon.
There we go.
Everything changed when the Ice Nation attacked. Well, on the fields of Muffalo, tribespeople are fleeing. Good attack, everyone. Like the part where they applied themselves.
Now they gotta make it all the way back home.
Well, I mean, if they tracked all the way up here just to do this shit, you'd think they'd have a bit more determination, really. Like, that was such a vast distance from where their base is.
Getting balls deep into the ice sheet. Like, I mean, these are mountains and shit, too, so you know that wind's got to be killer.
Right. Like, they made it all this way without really a stitch of clothing other than their fucking scraps, and without any hypothermia on top of it, so we know they're good to make it this far. Hell, there's a few people that don't even have any hypothermia. What is the world coming to?
It's just not. It's just summertime.
Too warm outside.
Yeah, it's
Shit.
summertime.
Fuck. April 6th. This is terrible.
Time to go to the beach.
You need to plant claymores the other about. No, there must be survivors to tell the rest of the tribe what happened here. It was terrible. Buffalo bones everywhere. The remnants of our companions passed dead.
It's pretty convenient where everything we kill stays frozen.
So many prepared meals laying out there.
Triple rocket launcher.
Glad that wasn't used on you.
Yeah, I think it was actually used on me at one point, but it didn't do much.